When you're testing your game, sometimes you'll want players to be able to submit bug reports and screenshots of the game to you through the game itself. The system we're going to make in this video will allow players to click a button and type in a message, which will then be automatically uploaded to a Dropbox folder. This is incredibly useful for streamlining game testing. For the players, they can provide feedback at the click of a button without even having to leave the game. For you, all of your bug reports get funneled into a Dropbox folder, and you have peace of mind knowing that every bug report will be accompanied by a screenshot, which should make fixing the bug a bit easier. We're also going to add the ability to automatically upload information about what graphics card we're using to the bug report. You don't have to do this, but I thought it would be helpful to give you an idea about all the extra use cases for this system. If you can modify the code, you can actually upload any data you want. In this video, I'm not going to ask you to write any code. Just download the package in the description and import it into either a blank GameMaker project or an existing one. All you'll have to do manually is set up your Dropbox account and fill in some values in one event. After I've showed you how to set up the basics, I'll walk you through how everything in the package exactly works. I've made this tutorial on version 2024.6 of GameMaker, but it should work on all recent versions and on future versions as well. Getting into the tutorial, the first step will be to create a Dropbox account if you haven't already. You can get 2 GB of data for free, which should be more than enough since a screenshot takes up a few kilobytes and 500 words of text also takes up just a few kilobytes. All you have to do is go to dropbox.com, click sign up and enter your email, name and password. For this tutorial, I'm just making a temporary email address with 10-minute mail, but you should probably use your actual email. Then you want to select Continue with 2 GB Dropbox Basic Plan and select Personal. Next, go to dropbox.com/developers and select App Console. Then click Create App, Scoped Access, and App Folder. Enter the name of your app, check I agree, and click Create App. Once you're in the console, click the Permissions tab and check files.metadata.write as well as files.content.write, then hit Submit. From here, go back to the Settings tab and make a note of the app key and app secret, as we'll be writing those into GameMaker in a second. Before you open GameMaker, go to the description of this video and click the download link for the .yymps file and download it. Then load up GameMaker and open either a blank project or an existing project. At the top of the page, click Tools, Import Local Package, and select the .yymps file you just downloaded. When it loads, click Add All and Import. This will put 6 files into the asset browser. The only one you need to edit is obj_save to Dropbox, so open that by double-clicking it. Open the create event of the object, and where there are variables called app key and app secret, copy in the values from the Dropbox developer console. Then you'll need to copy this URL and paste it into the address bar of your browser. Replace app key with the corresponding value from the developer console, then log in and copy the authorization code it gives you. In the comments in the create event, I've written out a curl command. Curl is just a way we can send data to a server. All you need to do is take the authorization code that you've copied and paste it into the command where it says authorization code. You can also copy and paste the app key and app secret in just below. Then go to your browser and open reqbin.com/curl. Paste the curl command and click run. If you did everything right, some content will appear below. From the content, copy the refresh token and paste it into GameMaker next to the refresh token variable. This is the only time you'll have to do this step unless your refresh token is revoked for some reason. For now, this is all you have to do. Run the game and click the S key. This will prompt you for some text input. Enter the text, and after a second, you'll see 3 messages appear in the debug log. The first will start with access token, and the second and third will start with name. If something else appears in the output log, it means that something has been set up incorrectly. If the messages do appear as expected though, you can go back to your Dropbox account. You'll see that there's a new folder called Apps, inside which is another folder with the name of your app. In there, you should see a text file and an image file. The image is a screenshot of the game, and the text file will contain the name of your graphics card as well as the text you just entered. That's all you need to do if you're just looking for the solution, but watch on for a brief explanation of how it all works and stay till the end for my notes on safety. If we leave the create event and go to the step event, all that's happening here is that the object is moving to the mouse position and a function is being called when the S key is pressed. The movement is only to allow us to see that the image is really a screenshot of the game. The function initiates the upload by first trading the refresh token for a new short-lived access token. If we open up this function, we can see that we're making an HTTP post request, which is just another way of sending data to a server. We're sending it to the URL api.dropbox.com/oauth2/token, and we're sending the refresh token, the grant type, the client ID, and the client secret as well. Then we're storing the ID of this request in the variable access token request. Calling an HTTP request takes some time because your computer needs to communicate with a server. When a result is returned, you can access it from the async HTTP event. In that event, information about the data returned by the server is stored in a DS map labeled async load. The first thing we need to do here is find the status of our request in the DS map. If this is less than 0, then there's been an error. If it's equal to 0, it was successful, and if it's equal to 1, then content is being downloaded. All we need to do is check if the status is equal to 0, then we can similarly get the result of our request, which is returned as a string, and we can output that to the debug log. Then we'll get the ID of our request. We can check if this ID is equal to the ID that we stored earlier in the access token request variable. This tells us whether or not the data we got from the server comes as a result of our request for an access token. If it is, then we use the JSON decode function to turn our string of data into a DS map. Then we can get the access token from this map and update the variable called access token. Finally, we can call the save files function and delete the DS map that we created. The save files function is where we actually decide what data is going to be saved and uploaded to Dropbox. The first thing we're going to do here is store a random integer in a local variable. We're going to use this as a hacky way of giving each pair of files a unique name. Next, we need to store the file name of the image, which is going to be the random number.png. Then we can use the screen save function and pass in the file name to save a screenshot of the image. The last step for the image is to upload it using the save to Dropbox function. For the text file, we'll do something similar, but we'll end the file name with .txt, and we need to use the function file text open write to create and open the file so that it's ready to write to. Then we'll use the function osGetInfo to get some information about our operating system. That function returns a DS map, so to get some information about the GPU, we can write _info, square bracket, question mark, video adapter description, closing the square bracket. We'll use the function file text write string to write the GPU information to the file. We also need to destroy the info DS map. Next, we can write a new line to the file and use the function getString to get a string from the user. This function is deprecated, which means GameMaker recommends you do not use it anymore. However, it just works for testing purposes. We're going to write that string to the file and then use the function file_text close to close it. Finally, we'll use the save to Dropbox function again to save the text file. The last function we need to look at is the save to Dropbox function that we've been calling. The first thing this does is take a file name and load the file as a buffer, which is just a region of memory. Next, we're going to create a DS map to represent our HTTP headers. A header is basically just a list of information. First, we'll add information about our authorization type to the header. This is just going to be bearer plus our access token. And all this means is that Dropbox expects to give access to the bearer, which is whoever possesses the access token. Next, we'll add some information about what to do with our file. We'll write this information out as a struct called API_arg. First, we add the path, which is just a / plus our file name. Add the mode, which is add, because we're just uploading a file. Set auto rename to true, which will try and rename our files if there's a conflict, meaning, for example, that there's already a file with that name. Set mute to false, which means that we'll be notified whenever a file is added. And set strict conflict to false, which means that Dropbox won't be that strict about whether there's a conflict. For example, it won't say there's a conflict when identical files are uploaded. We can turn this into a string with the function JSON_stringify, and then add this to our DS map. Finally, we will also add information about the content type, which will be application/octet stream. This just means that Dropbox expects some arbitrary binary data to be uploaded. Then we can do our HTTP post request, where we send the HTTP headers as well as the file data to content.dropboxapi.com/2/files/upload. All we have to do now is destroy the DS map, delete the buffer, and delete the file from our computer because it's now on Dropbox. I've now gone through all the code, so I hope you have a better understanding of how this system actually works. If there's something I could have explained better, please leave a comment. It's worth noting that the way this system works might not be the most secure because we'll be leaving secret information about our Dropbox app in the GameMaker code. However, I consider the risk to be minimal because any malicious actor would have to decompile your game, look through the code for these keys, and then work out what they're used for. Also, you'll likely be sharing this functionality with a relatively small group of testers who probably won't have any malicious intent. Finally, this code only has access to the folder created specifically for the app, which means that a malicious actor could never edit any files in the rest of your Dropbox. If you wanted, you could probably encrypt the app key, app secret, and refresh token, which would make it even harder for someone to find them. Overall, it's up to you to determine what level of risk you're comfortable with, but for me, the current system is satisfactory. With that said, I hope this video will be useful for any of your future game projects. Please like and subscribe, and click the bell to get notified about all my future videos. Thank you.